All right, what is up, you guys? How we doing? I am going to show you guys, get you introduced, get you going on how to start our baby face activity. So this is the page you're probably looking at, or you started looking at. You clicked right here. This will be hyperlinked for this video overview. This link right here is going to take you to your formative. So I am in my formative here. All right, this is all of my stuff that I have, but here is our baby face activity. I'm going to go and look at it from a student facing side. Click this little button here. I'm going to see it from a student facing side. Give me 1 second as this loads. All right, so I am previewing as a student. Here it goes. It's working around. All right. Now, that being said, sorry, I lost track of things here. Just want to make sure I had it. Okay. That being said, okay. Let's get going. Sorry. Congratulations on your new arrival. What would your baby look like if you flipped a coin to have one dominant gene and recessive gene for each of the facial features illustrated in this activity? However, parents can only give half of the genetic material to their offspring. To simulate the concept, you will flip a coin to determine which gene you will contribute to your child. Disclaimer: the traits in this activity are meant to illustrate how human heredity works in a simplified manner. In actuality, inherited characteristics of the face are determined by many genes working together in a way geneticists do not understand yet. Okay. All right. So here is this coin flip link. All right. All that's going to do is it's going to take you to this coin flip app where you can just click it, and it will flip your coin. My computer is going to be running super slow, just based off of trying to record and do that stuff as well. It doesn't really like that. But there it goes. It eventually flipped, and I got a tails. Okay. And then all that I have to do is click it again, and it'll flip it, and I'll see what I come up to. Okay. So now for the first part, ignore this. It'll only give me the one student-facing thing. So this is from when we went over it in class. Okay. So the father determines the sex of the child by giving either their X chromosome or their Y chromosome to the offspring. So whatever chromosome is contained within the sperm that fertilizes that egg is going to determine the sex. Females are automatically XX, and so we know that the mom is automatically going to give an X chromosome. Males, on the other hand, are XY. So again, if that sperm has an X chromosome, it will be XX female. If that sperm has a Y chromosome, it will be XY male. So we're going to flip the coin to determine the sex of the child. If it's heads, it'll be a boy, a sperm with Y chromosome, and if it's tails, it'll be a girl. So I'm going to go back to my coin flip app here, and I'm going to flip it. When I flipped it, I got tails. My tails then tells me, okay, tails, I have an X. XX is going to be female. So I have a female offspring. And then what is the name of my child? I'm going to name my child Ms. Awesome Pants. All right, there is my child name. Yep, my little girl. It's my baby, man. It's my baby. Okay. All right. Next part. Okay. Now stay with me. This is where things start to get a little bit more complex when we establish these actual traits. So you're going to flip your coin twice to get each half of the genetic material and fill in the table as you go, using the images below to match the genotype and phenotype that results from your coin flip. Remember, heads is dominant, which is the capital letter, and tails is recessive, which is the lowercase letter. This is the same coin flip link there. Don't worry about clicking that here unless you closed out of it before. All right, so we got two things we need to pay attention to here. This is our show our work section. That's going to open up this. Again, don't worry about that. I'm going to erase that, and I'll get back to it. This shows the trait we're going to be looking at here, the genotype, which is the combinations of alleles, the capital and lowercase letters, and then the actual phenotype, which is the physical characteristics of the individual. Down here, I have how each of these is represented, the corresponding phenotype to the genotype. So if I go back here, I'm going to see the first one I'm going to be working with is the shape of face. All right, so the shape of face. Down here, I see that the shape of the face, if I get both heads, meaning I'm dominant, big R, my baby's head is going to be round. If I get a hybrid, meaning one capital, one lowercase, one head, one tail, heterozygous, big R, little r, I'm still going to be round. because round here is clearly dominant to square. If I get two tails, meaning I'm homozygous recessive, I will have a square head. So let's go back here, and I'm going to flip my coin twice here. Flip it once. Tails. Flip it again. Tails. All right, so I got tails and tails for the shape of my face. So tails and tails. I have here little r, because it's two tails. And then I know from the table that I looked at when I go back here, little r, that means that it's going to be a square head. So I go back here and I will write square. Oh, I got out of the text box. I will write square. Okay. And then I go onto my texture of my hair and I do it again. Okay. Go down here. Texture of my hair. Two heads, big H, curly. One heads, one tails. Big H, little h, wavy. Both tails, little h, straight. Go back to my coin, flip it, and establish what's going on here and fill in my table, flipping the coin twice for each of these traits. Okay. You can do that all the way through this table in number 3. Now, part 4, question 4 gets a little bit more complicated as we start to look at slightly more complicated inheritance. So these 3 traits, you're going to flip your coin 6 times to all of the genetic material and fill in the table as you go. Use the image below to match the genotype and phenotype that results from your coin flip. Remember, heads is dominant, or big H, and tails is recessive. Tails, right? Dominant is heads, tails is recessive T. Okay? Now, here's the deal. Okay? This is called polygenic inheritance. What this means is anything where we have traits that are different shades, right? For example, skin color, eye color, hair color, things like that, right? We know that there's wide, huge variations in like how that actually comes out, right? 5 individuals can say that they have brown hair, and I'm sure that there's probably slight differences in their brown hair. What does brown hair actually look like, right? I consider myself, I am white, right? And so if I'm with my wife who is white, even our skin tone, like I'm very, very fair. I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm really very white. My wife is slightly darker. Okay. And so there are shades, even in like these little nuanced differences, there are differences. So we have to account for that as much as we can here by flipping our coin 6 times. So the first one we're going to do is eye color. And you'll notice in this table here that all heads is dark brown eyes. All tails is light blue eyes. The chances of getting that are very rare. And we're likely going to get something in between. But what that means is we're going to flip our coin 6 times. And we're going to record it here in this same section, in this section here. Okay? Similar to what we did above, just flipping it more times. So let's go back and let's flip my coin again 6 times. Here we go. Heads. Number 2 is heads. 2 heads, 0 tails. 2 heads, 1 tails. 3 heads, 1 tails. 4 heads, 1 tails. Okay, so 4 heads and 2 tails. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to fill this in first. 4 heads and 2 tails. So I had heads, 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 tails, tails. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. You don't have to put them in the same order as you flipped them. But I had 4 heads and 2 tails. So I'm going to go to this table and I'm going to say, okay, 4 heads and 2 tails is light brown. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to answer this question of light brown eyes. So my baby has light brown eyes. Okay. You're going to go do that for their hair color and skin color as well. And then answer the questions. And this one is a lot of fun here, you guys. Make your baby. Have fun with it. You want to paint it? Paint it. You want to draw it? Draw it. You want to use the watercolors or dry erase markers, whatever you want to do. Draw your baby, upload a picture there, and have some fun with that. Okay? But this should get you guys going on this activity, okay? All right.